Yes, good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
Yes, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Emmanuel Onyas. I am an instructional designer at Cyber School Technology Solutions in partnership with MasterCard Foundation. We are gathered here to get your insights or feedback in regards to the project's intervention with a focus on mindset change.
You're welcome.
Yes, can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Charles Saema. I happen to be an instructor in the building construction department. As well, I work as the deputy principal. In regards to the project in partnership with Cyber School Technology Solution, I happen to be the lead for content development and instructional design here in Lokopio Hills Technical Institute.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles. Now, our first question is we're going to try and understand the initial mindset of the intervention, of the project's intervention. And the first question is, what was the common perception about digital learning or new teaching methodologies before the intervention?
Initially, as instructors, we saw this as an impossibility. When we interfaced with the cyber, the first meeting, there was a lot of resistance. Even myself, I say this is not possible. We cannot teach technical courses online. But later on, I think with some interventions from the project, this mindset was changed. But truly, it was not an easy thing. People thought it wasn't possible.
Okay. Thank you very much, Charles. What challenges did you and other instructors face during the adoption of this new approach?
We've already mentioned the mindset was negative. Okay. Secondly, we had infrastructural challenges, okay, like we didn't have devices, there was no internet, there was a problem with the power, and leave alone, we had no knowledge of how to do it. We didn't have computer knowledge, enough of it. We had completely nothing to do with online content development.
Okay, thank you. Were there any concerns or fears expressed by staff or students regarding this change?
Yeah, definitely yes. They had concerns, especially in regards to internet, devices, and other things. Also, our fear was the administration ready to support this? Because this was a new thing, and if we looked at the budget, it was something that was not factored in. So there were really fears that how are we going to start moving? But it worked out well, especially with the intervention from the project.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Charles, for your feedback. Now we're going to the next section. We're going to identify the turning points of this intervention. What specific activities or programs were introduced to shift this perspective?
The greatest of all was the capacity building of instructors. I remember very well the first meeting we had with the content development team, where they explained how the online content engages learners. For example, I would take in my area, I would look at tiling, whereby the content specialists showed us that we could design it in a way that you have virtual mason and say virtual helper, and these people will be able to perform this online, like in a virtual kind of arrangement as the learner engages. So once we saw that there was a possibility of simulation of practicals, it really changed our minds. We said it's something that's going to help us. In addition to that, the training on computer use, of course we didn't have computers. Most of us were still on our blackboard, chalk and talk. So when the project introduced devices like internet and also the computers and power, we saw that this could work for us.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles. Can you share an example of an activity that had a significant impact on changing this perception?
Personal, as Ariaron have mentioned, it is the capacity building, where the first one was actually, I think it was targeted on mindset and it worked well for us.
Okay, thank you very much. Could you identify who the early adopters were and how their experiences influenced others?
Not to brag, one of the early adopters, I happen to be one of them. And then, of course, Principal, much as he was not showing up in the limelight, but he was one of those who said, no, this thing should work. Actually, without his support, I think probably would have rejected the project, but he said, no, this is something, a direction that we want to move into. And then we had people like the Sunday, Dennis, we have Lokoris, and let me say the management was among the first team to accept this.
Okay, thank you very much for that good answer. What noticeable shifts in attitude or behavior have occurred since this intervention?
I must say that we've moved a long way. Okay. We could be boasting of about 95% of content developed. Okay. Not only that, our students are learning online. The administration is now geared towards developing a strategic plan which incorporates e-learning into it. We have the policy in place, e-learning policy. We have also developed the safeguarding policy, all showing our positive move towards the project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would you expound on how the instructors or students now engaging with digital tools for the new methodologies?
The instructors have developed content. I could say a third of it without support from the team, from cyber. The students, most of them have gone to acquire their personal phones so that they use it outside the laptops, which, according to the policy, they are supposed to use within the bounds of the library. I think that is a positive move, and we are engaging on online learning, as for now we are using the blended approach. Thank you.
Okay, are there any tools specifically that are enabling the online learning?
Not far from the devices that we talked about, the internet, computers, the solar energy, because we still have a problem with the national grid. We haven't connected yet, so all those enable. When one of them breaks, especially internet and power, then there is a problem. But those things that the project put in place are enabling us a lot to ensure that the online learning takes place.
Yeah, but what about things like Big Blue Button, forums, chats? Are you able to speak to this?
Yeah, the Big Blue Button, the instructors are using it. Even the students are comfortable with it. But I must admit that we may need some kind of refresh a bit again for some people who are the, I could say, the late adapters. Probably this we can do as a peer-to-peer kind of arrangement.
Right, thank you very much. Have there been any institutional commitments in regards to policies and then allocation of funds?
Obviously, the policies we developed e-learning policy. Okay. The safeguarding policy, I must admit, it was with the support from cyber schools. Okay. But as well, the administration is now developing the strategic plan, which in it we have factored in the e-learning. And as well, we are looking at the sustainability. We want to factor it in the strategic plan, so that by the time cyber schools is done with the project, it doesn't mark the end of the project within the institute. E-learning must continue even after cyber school technologies.
Right. Thank you very much, because that was bringing me to the next question. Now that you've mentioned sustainability, what steps are being taken to ensure this mind shift continues?
As earlier on I've mentioned, we are already factoring it in the strategic plan. Once it enters in the strategic plan, it means a budget allocation will definitely be made for that, and therefore it is something we are working on. The fastest step is we want parents to buy a smartphone for the students so that even during holidays they can learn at home, probably buy data, or if they are near institutions where EduRoam is, they will be able to use that internet to access our online content.
Okay, and what lessons do you think have been learned from this experience?
The greatest lesson is that online learning is interesting for learners, it is engaging. And then I've also learned personally that the content I develop online requires it requires a lot of effort compared to the face-to-face. Remember, I will be preparing knowing that the learner is going to learn in my absence. So it requires you to take a lot of consideration to ensure that whatever is put there is something that someone can interface with and will be able to understand. And as much, it should as well be inclusive. You have to take care of all categories of people. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. And the final question would be, what recommendations would you give to other institutions facing similar challenges?
I would recommend them, one, to start training staff on computer use, because that's a very big blow. In case you have to adopt e-learning, at least the instructor should be able to use computers. The students should as well have some basic computer knowledge. So as for now, whatever they have, they should share and begin moving. I would recommend institutions to begin also looking for ways to probably partner with the organizations that support e-learning, or the ones that provide devices or something like that, so that we begin moving. This is the way to go. Those who will remain behind will be left out. So the institutions that are not still using this must start moving now.
All right. Thank you very much, Charles, for your insight and feedback in this regard. Any closing remarks from you?
I want to close by saying that this project has really changed me. First of all, I must admit there are about two things that I've learned. One, content development is now becoming a passion. I've always told the cyber team that if anything, I would even wish to do a course in content development so as to sustain the project, not only in Lokopio but as well in the TVET section. Another thing I've learned from this project is during the trainings, I've interfaced with so many dignitaries like ministry officials, and this has improved my public speech. I think the cyber team will attest to this, because I don't feel like talking in public, because it's the way to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you for the interview. Good day.